ET Final Score is brought to you by Ashley Furniture.
Good afternoon, East Texas. This is your afternoon update. I'm Danny Mogle.
Kenneth Dean.
You're Kenneth Dean. We were at the scene this morning of a shooting at the Varsity Apartments.
Varsity Place Apartments, that's right across from the University of Texas at Tyler. Now, this is the fourth time someone has been shot. We've had, in the last month, 4 or 5 different shootings out there, and this is the fourth victim. Today, of course, police say that man tried to get into another man's apartment. He felt like he was going to be robbed, so he basically pulled out his gun and shot the person.
So the apartment owner shot through the door?
No, shot as the door was already open.
Oh, the door was opening, and he shot the person out of the patio.
And we spoke to Don Martin out at the scene, and he told us a little bit more about the incident.
We received a 911 call around 9:30 this morning at 3400 Varsity in reference to a shooting. When officers arrived on the scene, they talked to the person that was involved in the shooting. We're basically talking about a 19-year-old black male. Stated he was in his apartment. He had contact with the person that was shot prior to the shooting in his apartment. That person had came back to the apartment, and he felt the person living in there, the 19-year-old, thought he was going to be robbed by this person.
Okay, what are we finding out about the video? He said that there was somebody who was shot. Has that person surfaced at a hospital or anything?
As of just a few moments ago, that person has not surfaced. But Don Martin told me that outside the scene, outside this apartment, there was a large amount of blood and a steady blood stream leading to another area of the apartment complex, but they have not found anybody. So they're saying that person that was shot desperately needs medical attention.
Seriously injured and stuff. And again, that's several incidents in this particular apartment complex. And I talked yesterday with Beverly Golden at the University of Texas. She says they're doing everything they can on campus to make the campus safe, but in that area around campus, it's a bad situation, at least right now.
Well, Tyler police have stepped up their efforts in that area, but you know, these things, sometimes they get by them.
Another little bit of breaking news that you have been covering this morning, a burglary arrest.
There was a burglary in the Quail Creek Apartments this morning. That's at 4901 Kinsey Drive, right off the loop. Now, what police say happened was a woman called about 2 o'clock this morning, called 911, saying that she saw a person in her car and that person stole a laptop. Well, while Tyler police are working that auto burglary and looking for a suspect in that case, the guy burglarized somebody's apartment.
So the same
person, yes.
Wow.
And a few minutes later, he actually walked by, strolled by police who just saw him go by, didn't think anything of it.
So, hello.
He turned out to be the suspect, so he was taken in custody. Now they say that he was charged, of course, with the burglary of the vehicle, burglary of a habitation, and he was in possession of a firearm that was stolen in another burglary previous to this one. So good to have that guy off the streets.
Absolutely. Get another thing that happened this morning. We're actually covering a story out of Hawkins. RRS, I can barely say that, RRS Aviation has recently restored a Vietnam-era fighter plane, and it was sent on its way to a museum in North Dakota today. And we have some footage of that from this morning. And as you can see, they took the wings off of that, put the fuselage on one transport truck, put the wings on another, and it's going to end up in a museum in North Dakota. Now, this is the same group. You may remember a couple years ago when the Bush Museum opened, they restored a plane and sent it down to that museum.
Yes, I do remember that.
Really kind of a cool thing going on with that.
Do they have any idea how long it takes for this plane to get there and then get reassembled?
I do not know, but that's a pretty long haul to go all the way from North Dakota from East Texas and stuff. And this particular company does this kind of stuff all the time, which I think is really cool. You know, there's so much going on here in East Texas. I'm not even sure where to begin. You know, if you go to Gilmer, you can go to the Jamboree. You stay here in Tyler, you can go to the Rose Festival.
Well, the big thing in Tyler tomorrow is the Rose Parade, and of course then the Queen's Tea at following that tomorrow afternoon. But
yeah.
I mean, tomorrow, Front Street will basically be shut down tomorrow morning as the floats, bands, twirlers. You'll see all kinds of things tomorrow. So if you don't have anything to do in the morning, come out to the Front Street area and right kind of in front of the Rose Garden, and you gotta get there early because those spots kind of go pretty fast.
Yeah, and people kind of get vicious if you get in their spot that they've already taken and stuff.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then the Queen's Tea 1 to 3 in the afternoon, and that pretty much wraps up the Rose Festival for this year. Now, another thing that you might consider doing is going to the Texas State Fair in Dallas.
Well, but sadly today we have some real sad news out of Dallas. Our good friend Big Tex is no longer with us. He went up in a burning hunk of love flames or something. They still don't know what happened.
He's definitely no longer big, that's for sure.
Well, he's Texas toast.
Texas toasted Tex and stuff.
Crispy style.
A sad day in the state of Texas. Big Tex is no more.
You know, I'm wondering if they will redo Big Tex. I mean, I know it'd be just a knockoff version of, a redo, but I wonder if they will, because he's been such a symbol. I mean, you drive down that freeway there, and that's what you see is Big Tex there.
He was a hot attraction today at the.
He was a very hot attraction. In fact, he was what you would say on fire.
He was on. I don't think we're on fire though.
No.
With these puns. It's Friday night football night. Games all over East Texas. That means tonight you need to start logging into etfinalscore.com. They'll be posting those scores as soon as they make them available. Our friends at CBS 19 will also have lots of video coverage tonight on the news and on the ET Final Score show that airs tonight and again tomorrow. I always tend to watch it on that Saturday rerun instead of
busy weekend. I mean, just so much going on. Like you said, the Jamboree, the Rose Festival, parade, the Texas State Fair is still going on.
Yep.
Just so many things to do, and actually, according to our weather app, we're going to have very, very good weather for this whole weekend. So get out there and enjoy it.
And say goodbye to Big Tex where you can, or keep him in your memories.
I think they've knocked him down already.
I think he has knocked down. I think they need to knock us down too. But we'll see you Monday.